Well, ever since I made my previous video calling out narcissistic Jezebel Amber Heard, her Narc-minions have been coming out of the woodwork in my comment sections and trying to call me out, trying to talk about Johnny is the one, also is not perfect, Johnny's also done things wrong, blah blah blah. And I want to address this all in one video, guys. I really want to address this, and I want to start here, guys. First, let's start at this point. Amber Heard is the one who started this. She's the one who opened the Pandora's box and decided to go. And I think the first time she went to, I think it was to the police with like bruises on her face, and there was like paparazzi, which very interesting note about paparazzi that I have heard and learnt myself, as a lot of you guys who've been on the channel. Also, shout out to all the new subscribers. Hey y'all. Glad to have you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support, guys. But one thing I must add about that whole paparazzi situation is that, you know, a lot of celebrities call the paparazzi on themselves. Just like to put that out there. People do that. People do the call the paparazzi on themselves. In fact, the Kardashian coven, I'm going to be doing a whole series about the Kardashian coven. It's coven with a K. It's going to be coming out soon, so look out for that, y'all. Apparently Chris likes to call the paparazzi on, you know, the family and stuff. But anyway, so she's the one who started this. Amber, I'm talking about now. Amber is the one who opened this whole situation. She is the one who made that article. I think it was on Washington Post or whatever. She's the one who did it. It was her. And so she opened the opportunity for her to then also be looked at, because she's trying to say all this stuff about Johnny. It's like, baby girl. And to all of you guys, all of the Narc-minions coming after me, you know, in defense of your narcissistic queen bee Amber Heard, he was already being criticized. Everybody was already looking into Johnny Depp so much prior to all of this situation. So many people already believed the story, believed Amber's story. So for people to be like, Amber's like, Johnny isn't perfect. Nobody said Johnny's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody said he was perfect. He himself said he wasn't perfect. And he is the one who's actually taking accountability. There's a difference in that, guys, because we're never going to be perfect. And I think one of the things about life, especially about maturing, becoming an adult, especially in relationships, you know, is when you have to be open to that, the fact that you might do something wrong, you might mess up, but you take accountability for your actions, you apologize, and you're proactive in changing those actions. That's part of being an adult, right? That's part of growing up. That's part of learning. That's part of growing, because we're never going to get everything perfect. If we did, there wouldn't be arguments. There wouldn't be people doing negative and evil things out there in the world, okay? So people saying that, I just want to talk to you guys for a minute. I just want to talk to y'all for a sec. Y'all need to switch up that whole idea and stop like and this is what's actually upsetting me about it, honestly, is that so many people who are calling out Johnny are completely ignoring the fact that, like, let's not forget, she continued working. She was doing what she needed to do. He was the one who was hit, like, more so in his career. And I will acknowledge that, you know, even in the trial, her lawyer tried to bring up, like, but was there ever bad news about you in the press before Amber Heard? Yes, there was. There's always bad press about everybody in the entertainment industry. So I feel like that was a cheap shot as well, which seems like it seems like Johnny was kind of feeling similarly. But you know, that doesn't take away from Amber's actions. And this exact type of behavior that people are exhibiting, this one I'm calling y'all the Narc-minions, is the exact type of behavior that narcissistic people do. And when I saw this, I was like, you people have delivered. You're helping me to educate the people about what it's really like, how to know you're dealing with that type of narcissistic energy, because you bring something to the table, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been in these types of disagreements, right, where you might bring up something to somebody, right, and then instantly, rather than acknowledging what you said, and you could have also done something wrong, they'll then call out something you did wrong, and then it becomes a he said, she said, you didn't know, you didn't know, you didn't know who. And then it's like, if we just took a step back, you focus on the fact that I came to you. How come you're only bringing this up now? I came to you to talk about something. Now you want to make it about me. We can talk about that. We can talk about me after you address and take accountability for what you did. That's how I personally feel that it should work. And like I said, she's the one who started it. But this is how narcissists work. This is how narcissists work. She put out her fake reality, and I explained this to you. I'm going to explain, and this is why, guys, all my videos about narcissists, actually, I need to put them in a playlist together. This is what they do. They create a fake reality. And do you know why she had to come out and be saying all these accusations? Because she has to make it real. A narcissist, the reality they live in isn't real. So they have to construct it. They have to build it. And the way they build it is, first of all, by them believing it themselves, and then convincing other people to believe in it. That's why she had to come out and be talking about it. That's why she's doing all of this Me Too movement, believe all women, blah, blah, blah. That's why she's maintaining her position even now, because she's created this whole fake reality, and it only exists if people believe it. It's not like the real world, where even if you don't believe this is the real world, well, dang, if that's a tree over there, that's a tree, whether you believe that's a tree or not. You don't need to get people don't need to think that that's a tree, or you don't need to go around telling people that's a tree. If it's a tree, it's going to be a tree. That's the difference between truth and lies. That's the difference between real reality and fake reality. And so the reason why she's running off still, like, right, trying to say all the things that she's saying, is because she has to maintain the fake reality. And the Narc-minions who are helping that, you guys are helping maintain the fake reality. That's the problem. And that's why it's so powerful. I was thinking about the jury, right? I was thinking, this jury is an exact reason why narrative and what people think actually matters a lot. Because if the jury, after all of that, believed Amber, he wouldn't even have won the defamation trial. If her narcissistic powers, and this is how narcissists work. There's so many narcissists in Hollywood, in the media, in the world. Some of the most popular people out there are full-blown narcissists, and the reason they get there is because they cast you under their spell of believing in this fake reality that doesn't exist. It kind of reminds me of actually, yeah, I'm not gonna go there. Well, I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of actually no, I'm not gonna go there. But anyways, so that's why I have an issue with that. And so the only way you can maintain that reality is by not addressing the truth. Because as soon as you acknowledge the truth, this is how you know it's narcissistic. As soon as you acknowledge the truth, it's like a balloon, right? It's like a balloon, right? As a narcissist, you like create this balloon. And the more people that believe in what you're talking about, it's like it's blowing the balloon up, right? But here's the interesting thing. Isn't it funny how it only takes one little needle to pop a hole in the balloon, and it pops and it's over? That's why a narcissist can't even acknowledge any truth, because as soon as they acknowledge even one little bit of something that is true, that doesn't fit with their reality, it pop like a balloon, just like that. And that's why I think people need to be very careful, because yes, okay, Johnny isn't perfect. Johnny hasn't done everything right. Fair dues, you're absolutely right. But guess what? He's taking accountability. She is not. And there are so many people in relationships, especially when you end up in a relationship with a narcissist. That's one of the ways they get you, because they will never acknowledge what they do. They will always blame you. What they're saying about you is probably true, because like I said, nobody's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do bad things. So then instead of you remembering even what they did wrong, or even focusing on that, you're like, you know what? Instead, I'm just going to focus on me and change myself. I'm the only person I can control. So I do need to improve in that area. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken to her in that way. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then that also then will make you feel potentially less about yourself, lower your self-esteem, because you're like, oh, why am I so difficult to be with? Why am I so much for people? You know, she's so nice to still be with me, even though I bring so much to the table. All of this just completely turns your attention away from the narcissist into yourself, and then they can just continue playing their games. And so this is why I just wanted to really address this, because people have been talking about, like, Johnny this, Johnny that, and I'm like, Johnny didn't even start it. Amber started it herself. So be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. You wanted to get attention. You wanted to get attention on Johnny. You wanted to start calling out domestic violence. Well, guess what? Domestic violence got called out. Domestic violence got called out. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, that's all I got to say, guys, in this video specifically. I'm going to do more videos, and I'll say this now. The reason why I haven't really spoken about this Amber Heard stuff until this point is, and it's exactly the reason why people like Amber Heard are problematic, is because there have been so many times women have come out, and you guys know I always speak out for people, you know, on this channel. I speak out a lot for victims of certain things, whether everybody's believing in it or not. I was one of the people, I was one of the first. With the Britney Spears stuff, I was one of the people back in the day who was there in the comments before anybody even believed her. Because why? Her narcissistic people around her, like her dad and Lou Taylor, had convinced even the public, like, oh, Britney needs to do this. Oh, Britney. See, they convinced everybody of their fake reality. And then everybody was living in that fake reality. And it took, I think it was 14 years. I can't remember off the top of my head now. Wait, she was 26. yes, I think it was for 13 years that she was in this conservatorship, all because the narcissist managed to maintain this fake reality, and it took the people who were willing to actually say, like, maybe that's not true, or that's not making sense, to really hammer in onto that, for that to be broken. And in fact, even with the Britney Spears case, what actually happened, one of the biggest things that helped that was the fact that so many of the fans actually came together and were outside rallying while she was in court. It created a big enough noise that people had to take this situation seriously. And lo and behold, guess what? She was put in a conservatorship for dementia. And I did a whole video talking about the symptoms of dementia. So you guys go and check out that video if you want to as well, where I talk about the symptoms of dementia. And tell me if you think a dementia patient can be teaching their own dancers and singing and performing at a residency in Las Vegas in 2019 if they have dementia. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And so I'm saying all of this, guys, to say that it's really important, you know, that we don't that we recognize these behaviors, because like I said, the reason why I'm only speaking about this now is because there have been so many cases where people start to speak up about something, right? So for example, like I mentioned before with the Prince Andrew case, and people, if people are deep enough into the what do you call it, the matrix, into the fake reality, they won't believe somebody. They'll wait to see if what the judges say, like what the sentencing is or whatever. So I was like, you know what, we'll see how this actually figures out before I comment on all of this, because a lot of people are going to say, well, but Johnny this, but Amber that's. Okay, people are okay. We can all agree that, well, you guys know how I feel about the justice system, so I won't even get into that right now. But we'll wait for that. We'll wait for the court proceedings to follow through, and then we can talk about it. Because then you see what it's like when you're actually the people who are the victim and you have to fight. You can't even be heard. And we say believe all women. Well, believe all women and men, because sometimes, and a lot of the time, I think men are involved in these types of things. Men are victims, as we're seeing right now. That's why it's problematic for people to say what they're saying. I'm like, look, listen, y'all. The only reason we're here is to think about this like this, right? It was a defamation trial, right? Defamation, of which Johnny won, by the way. So think about it like this. They wouldn't even be going to that. We wouldn't even be looking at that if Amber never spoke up about this in the first place. And she didn't have to. She didn't have to. She didn't have to lie. She didn't have to make up all this fake stuff. And she's crazy. The way she was like calling police and doing this and that, I'm like, girlfriend, you really tried to destroy this man. But anyways, guys, I don't want to talk too much. But I do think it's really important that we be real about this stuff, guys. If you're one of these Narc-minions, you might want to pop that balloon for yourself. Let this video be the thing to pop that balloon and jump out of that fake reality, because this is people's real lives. Like, I know it's easy for us when we're like on the internet, when we're watching stuff, and I know a lot of people have a bit of resentment towards celebrities, so they kind of like to speak negatively freely about them. But these are real people. So if we should be very careful, you know, about how quick we are to just dismiss somebody's feelings or dismiss somebody's experience. And for me, I'm the most concerned right now for any man or woman out there who's going through something, having to deal with somebody gaslighting them, who probably has a whole bunch of other people who they've tried to tell, who they've opened up to, and no one is believing them. In fact, I even did a whole, I've talked about these types of situations so many times. So we really, like I said, I get it, where people are coming from. I get it. Johnny isn't perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's why I specifically said in the previous video, you'll see in the thumbnail, I chose my words. Somebody said in the comment section, words matter. You're right. And I chose my words in the thumbnail very carefully. I put no remorse, no accountability. No remorse, no accountability, because that is the problematic behavior that I'm seeing from Amber Heard. And that, for me, is extremely narcissistic. Anyways, guys, I don't want to talk your ears off in this video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you would love to. I'd really appreciate it, guys, so much. And hit the like button as well if you do like it. I'm going to be making a couple more videos about this whole Amber situation, because now that I've been talking to people, now that it's you know, we've got the sentencing and whatnot. I keep calling it the sentencing. I don't know what else to call it. I feel like there's so much to actually discuss now that we're at this point. Now that we can see there was clearly defamation decided by the law, decided by the jury, we can finally see that. Now let's be able to talk about this. And some of you, I think, need to be okay with releasing. Sometimes we're wrong in life. I'm wrong sometimes, guys. Sometimes I'm wrong about stuff. Sometimes I take down videos I made weeks or months or whatever ago because I realized, you know what, I was wrong. We can all be wrong. So it's okay. If you're realizing now that you were in Amber's little bubble, it's okay to pop the balloon. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless every single one of you, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.